Hey guys, how's it going? I'm surrounded by Monstera Albo cuttings right now, and welcome back to another episode of Nick's epic saga trying to get an Albo Monstera to grow. If you're new here or you haven't seen any of my other videos, I will link a small playlist before. I think this is probably like the 4th video I've made on this journey with this plant. So if you want to check those out, link will be below. But if you don't want to watch those, I'll give you a quick recap. So I bought this plant 3 years ago, around Christmas time, in Detroit at Tully's greenhouse. It was to date the most expensive plant I've ever bought. It was $550 and it looked amazing. It was right around Christmas. Took it home to New York. It almost immediately shot out another leaf, a smaller leaf, but another leaf, so I was excited. And then the plant proceeded to do absolutely nothing for, I don't know, a year and a half, not a single leaf, nothing. At some point I got fed up with the plant. I've had a lot of success growing plants in LECA, and I know Monstera grow well in LECA. So I put it into LECA. I have a video about that. That was probably 1.5 years ago. It was a journey. Left it in LECA. It did nothing. I was getting sick of it. I was ready to pull it out of LECA and chop it up and start over with cuttings. And then it shot out another leaf for me. The first leaf in like 2 years, and it was small. It looked nice, but it was small. So I put my chopping plan on hold for a little while. And then I finally got sick of the plant, got ready to do it. So my most recent video is me chopping up this plant and rooting it in water. So this is where we are now. They've been rooting for a couple of months, I would say, 2-3 months. We have good root action in, I can see good root action in 2 of the 4 cuttings. I think the 3rd of the 4 has a root that I actually cut because it was an aerial root, so I was nervous whether that would grow, and I don't know that I see root growth in it, but I do see a new growth point coming out, like it's trying to push out a new leaf, so I have high hopes. Those have been in water, as you see, and then this one I don't think I can tilt it for you very much, but it's in LECA, but also water. Like I just put it into LECA. This was, I believe, the lowermost cutting, and it's got the most roots. So I just put it into this pot, filled it with LECA, and then filled it with water. So they've been rooting in water for a few months, and there is a growth point coming out here too. I'll show you guys. So we have some good root action. I'm gonna assume you guys can see there's some serious roots on 2 of these cuttings, and a little, I can't see through the glass, but can you see there's a little growth point coming out there from the bottom most one? Yeah, you can see that. So, oh, we have another one popping out here. It's time. So I was at Walmart randomly a couple days ago. I've been looking for a big glass container to pot these into, and I found one at Walmart. It was cheap. It was like $15. So it's this round sort of like fishbowl style glass. And I think that'll be a good size to put these 4 cuttings in, because I'm hoping they will all take off and I'll have a much bigger Monstera plant. That's been my goal since I bought it 3 years ago. So I just quickly wanted to show you guys, in case you've missed another of my videos, I've been on this kick lately of putting plants in LECA in glass containers. I really like the look of that. And I made a video as well, which I will link below, about glass drill bits, and I've been drilling drainage holes into my glass containers. So I have yet another video where I had a huge green Monstera and I cut it all to hell in the fall. And I ended up with, I think, 7 of these glass containers. And every single one of them is thriving. I've got all kinds of root action. Let me see if I cannot break it on the lamp. All sorts of root action happening. They're thriving. There you can see the drainage hole. They're doing really well, and I have some new growth popping out, and it's like winter and they don't even have good light. So I'm digging the LECA glass combination. If you want to learn how to drill holes in glass, I'll link that video below as I mentioned. I had 2 fails when I was practicing drilling holes in glass. And this bowl is the right size, I think, but the glass seems really thin, and I have a feeling I'll break it. Between it being curved and thin, I don't want to try to drill into it. But it's really easy to see the water level in glass. So while these continue to root and hopefully take off, I'm not going to drill a hole into this. I'm going to fill it with LECA. I want the sort of stems of the cuttings to be pretty high up in the container so they can push out new growth. So there's going to be a lot of room between the roots and where the water will be. So I'm confident in myself. I used to have like every single one of my plants in LECA. I'm confident that I'm not going to flood these. And if they don't seem happy, I'll do something else in the spring when it's warmer. And this will be a good intermediary until I find something maybe more permanent. I also, after I bought the bowl, I excitedly came home to do the project and realized I was out of LECA because I literally put like 7 of these green Monstera cuttings together a while back. So I just ordered another bag of LECA. This is the brand I always buy. It's the HYDROTON LECA. This is the 25-liter bag. It lasts for a long time. Now, having said that, this is a pretty big container, but if you're putting it in smaller pots, this bag would probably give you like 10 or 12, maybe more, maybe 10 big like 6-inch pots. Or if you're doing smaller, it's a lot more than that. So I think this costs maybe $30-ish. You can get better deals at certain times on Amazon, but I can recommend this. It's the only brand I've ever used, and if you've never tried LECA before, LECA sort of never goes bad. Once you have it, you can use it and reuse it forever. So, good investment for 30 bucks. If you haven't used LECA before, it's very dusty when it comes out of the bag, and you want to rinse that off before you use it, because otherwise your water is going to be brown and gross. And so I'm going to put some of this into a colander and rinse it out. Ideally, you should rinse it outside because all of this LECA dust, which is essentially like stone dust, is going to go down the drain. But I'm going to do it in my shower and it'll be fine. We'll survive. But I recommend you guys rinse it outside if you can. So I'm going to rinse off some LECA and we're going to do this. Okay, stay tuned. If videos like this interest you, please subscribe to the channel. Please give the video a like and comment below and let me know what you think of all of this. I've got plenty of other plant-related videos that you can check out. We do all sorts of videos though. I've been making YouTube videos since 2006, which was the year YouTube came out. So there's plenty of content for you to check out, but we would love to have you join us. You can also follow us on Instagram, Urban Farm Boys, or my personal one, which I use most of the time, is Nika Sarbata, and I will link those below as well. If you guys have never used LECA before and you're curious about it, I also made a LECA 101 video. It's like everything you need to know about LECA, everything you ever wanted to know, and I will link that below as well. It's, I don't know, maybe an hour long, and if you watch it the whole way through, you will be very prepared to start using LECA, which I highly recommend for most plants. So check that out. I just rinsed my LECA. I'm probably going to need to fill 2 of these. I have this old colander that I don't use for food. My favorite part of LECA, new LECA, when you rinse it, is it's very porous. So when you rinse it, it's kind of like absorbing the water. It crackles. So satisfying. All right, so I want to fill my basin probably half or 3/4 full of LECA first, and then I'll take my plants out and kind of check out the roots and show you, and then we'll get it potted up. I'm going to lower the volume here because I have a feeling this is going to make quite a bit of noise as the LECA goes into the glass. If I were to guess, I would say this is probably like a maybe 3-gallon vessel. Maybe 2, maybe 3. But I'm about halfway there. So what I'm gonna do next is use the LECA that's in this other pot, because why not? And then I'll probably have to get maybe another colander full to have enough. So let me move, what am I doing here? Let me move this over. And then I'm gonna take this one and just sort of gently lift, maybe I'll try to get it a little closer, gently lift my plant out of the LECA. Or maybe I should pour some of it out first. So when you put your plants in LECA, a lot of the old roots will die, and you will get new, I have a couple of old roots here that I see, you will get new water roots. So as I take this out, check this out. Do you see all these happy water roots? I know you see. There's also some of the older roots there that are a little bit more brown, beige. Your roots can be any number of colors, but look at all these happy water roots. What I'm gonna do with this is I'm gonna take this to the shower and rinse it off. I wanna try to get any of that old dead stuff off of there. And this is kind of normal when you transition plants from soil into LECA. You gotta get the old stuff off, because otherwise it'll just kind of rot and not be helpful to you. So let me shake off the excess LECA, and then I'm gonna take it to the shower and rinse it off. Okay, so I've rinsed off a lot of the dead stuff, most of the dead stuff. You can see all these happy white roots. Something interesting happened when I pulled on a couple of the old roots. I pulled on them and almost like a sheath came off, and they had these happier white roots inside of them, which is cool. So this is definitely my biggest one. This was the one that was in the soil. So this one I want to plant a little bit deeper in my pot, but I'm going to set him right here for now. And I'm going to get another colander full of LECA, because I know we're going to need a little bit more. All right, so before we start the potting up, I thought I might take these out and show you kind of my root situation. So I have 2 single leaf cuttings, and the variegation on these leaves is beautiful. They just didn't grow. So I did this cutting, and we have a good sized root there, and can you see the growth point coming out there? So he's ready to go in for sure. My goal, because I want these new growth points to not have to fight too hard to get up through the LECA, so I'm gonna plant these fairly close to the surface of the LECA. If I have to sort of bury them deeper in a couple of months once they've got growth coming out, that's fine. I just don't want them to have to work too hard. They've struggled enough. So I have this other guy. This is my other single leaf cutting. I'm gonna come a little closer. This is the one that had an aerial root that I had unfortunately cut. I think when I put it into LECA initially. And I see no new roots. However, look at this little guy trying to come out. It's a little blurry. Can I do that hand thing? You see that? Oh, it works. So I'm not sure. He must be getting his nutrition somehow, but I have faith. If he's growing, we're gonna let him keep doing it. So we'll see. And then I took this 2-leaf cutting here. I think this was the top cut. And there's a big ol' root on that guy. I don't know if I see any other leaves trying to grow. Maybe. I think there's one here actually thinking about it. I'm going to rinse this one. I see a little bit of mold here. So I'm going to give this guy a little rinse, and I'll be right back. Okay, that looks better already. Some of the those little sheaths that the new leaves are in when they come out was still on the plant underwater, so that just rinsed right off. So he's gonna be good to go. And then I already showed you the big boy. So I might just throw these back in the water real quick. I think I'm gonna start with the big one because I want to make sure he's well buried in the LECA. Make a little well for him. And I've got 4 plants. It'll be snug-ish, but that's how I want it. I might even dump some of this LECA out just to, I don't want to damage the roots too much. Okay, so that was somehow way easier than I thought it would be. He's got quite the stump on him, so I wanted the roots pretty down low, but I wanted this new growth point here to be pretty close to the top. And I think that's going to be pretty darn perfect. That was weird. I thought it would be a headache. What I also might do eventually is kind of try to tie these leaves together a little bit. I wouldn't be surprised if these old leaves die off eventually, but they're doing the work now to grow me some new leaves. So these other guys I want a little bit higher up. And I think, let me see. Maybe I can put one in the back. I'm going to try to put them in the pot in a way where they kind of look nice too. But I think if I have maybe... The other thing is I really like for my plants to grow with the leaves all facing the same direction, so I don't have to rotate it so often. So I might try to do that here, but yeah, I think this is good. So I'm going to go ahead and add more LECA to kind of bury that big boy. Okay, sorry, I probably gave you guys a shake too. So I kind of liked what I did just a second ago with one plant being here. Just trying to look at the angle of the leaves. This one has a root on it, so I want to be a little more gentle. Maybe about like that. And then this boy, okay, this is going way easier than I thought because these plants are like standing up on their own. I'm gonna stabilize these two and add more LECA. This is kind of, let's see, kind of perfect. I mean, yeah, let's see. Once you have your plants in the LECA, you can kind of manipulate them a little bit, and then the stones will sort of stabilize them in place. But I can't see you guys. That, I think I'm done. I love LECA. If you guys haven't tried it, you really should. All of these are sort of exactly where I want them. My little growth point on that big boy, you can't see, but he's above the level of the LECA, and the stalk that he's coming out of is also sort of flush with the LECA. And I have just a few more little pebbles here, which I'm going to throw in the front. Look at that. That was a good estimate. I think this front one is just a wee bit wobbly. He'll root in. Roots, especially with Monstera, they grow so fast in LECA. I was going to try to put more pebbles, but I don't think I want to. As soon as this starts to root, it just like the roots go crazy through the LECA pebbles and it'll stabilize itself. Let me just give this guy a turn and see. You guys can see too. The only thing I'm going to do one more thing, which was unanticipated. I'm going to get some tape and tape these old leaves together, because this one here is kind of touching the table, and I want to kind of train them to grow upward. I'm not sure if they're going to live. They look okay, but I'm going to get just a little bit of tape, Velcro tape, to make them stand up a little bit more like that. Give me 2 seconds. This is the tape I use. I'll try to link everything in the description if you want to buy what I use. Yeah, it's just a green Velcro tape. It's soft on the inside so that it doesn't harm your plants. And I use it a lot to train my plants. I have this giant Billietier in my bedroom right now, and it's enormous. And so I'm trying to wrangle it together. And then I have a Ficus burgundy, which has like 6 stalks, and it's getting really big. And I've also, that thing used to go like straight outward. Now they all go upward just from this tape and patience. So let me see if I can just give this a little encouragement right at the LECA level. It's a little ugly because you can see it, but oh, my fingers. I'm pulling this a little more than I wanted to, but I just want to get this tape up a little bit. There we go. I think I'm done. I like it. It looks like a plant again. It looked like sad little cuttings for months, and it looked like a sad little plant. So this was all just one stalk, right? So it looked weird, and the leaves kept getting smaller. It did not look like a full plant, and it kind of does now. So that's it. I'm excited. I'm excited. So you want me to water this so you guys can see the water level? I'll lift it up so you can see if you're new to LECA. So all these pebbles, they absorb a bit of water, but they're still really airy, so you might be able to see that there's a little condensation where they touch the edges of the glass. I think you can see that. So they'll wick up the water between the pebbles and kind of keep the whole plant moist. So obviously as the water level goes down, it'll get drier from the top down. But they say you should only fill up about the bottom quarter or third with water. You don't want it totally full because you want that aeration. Roots need oxygen, so that's what LECA is meant for. So you don't want it full of water. I usually do about a quarter-ish, and as your roots grow, you'll usually be able to see them. a little LECA myth. Now you guys should watch my LECA video. I won't go on a rampage here talking about LECA, but once water roots have developed, they can be in water. Don't let people tell you you have to constantly repot and raise the plant over and over and over so the roots never touch the water. That's not going to happen. These are water roots. They literally grow differently. You just saw that. They can touch the water. Have you ever had a propagation in water for like years, like me? It's fine. But again, my roots probably only go about this far down except for that first one. So a quarter to a third. I hope I have some nutrient water mixed up. These have been rooting in nutrient water. If you're curious about that, it's in my LECA 101 video. 2, I think I have a little bit, but maybe not. It doesn't really matter. If I don't, I'm just going to pour some water in here now, and I'll mix up my nutrient solution this weekend when I do all the other plants. Oh, I usually have some nutrient solution mixed up in this old milk container, but I had almost none left, so we'll just do regular water for now. The nice part when you're using glass is you can see exactly where your water level is. I'm going to fill this to about halfway today because I don't soak my LECA before I use it. Some people do, and that allows it to kind of become saturated with the water. Some people soak it, some people boil it. I have never done either of those things, but it will initially absorb a fair bit of water. So we're right here. So I'll just keep an eye on that. And that's it. We're done. I'm so excited. I am going to take this outside in the spring. It's almost the end of February. Spring is around the corner. And I'm hoping that after it gets to spend the summer out on my porch, it's a covered porch, so the plants get excellent indirect light all summer long and good humidity. I'll have a beautiful, much more satisfying Albo Monstera than I've had for the last 3 years. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope you found it helpful. If you did, please like the video. That helps me. And comment below. Tell me your opinions. Share your experience. Ask your questions. We can help each other in the comments below. And follow me on Instagram. I post a lot on Instagram. Nikas Arbata. Everything will be linked below. Hope you guys enjoyed. I'm really excited about this. I think it looks super cool. I kind of like the rounded glass pot too. I don't know. I'm digging it. If you're digging it, like the video, and this concludes another chapter of my saga, so I will keep you guys updated. That's it for today. I have to go to bed. I worked 13 hours, I drove 2 hours, and I'm waking up in 5 hours to do it all again tomorrow. So I just couldn't wait any longer. I wanted to get this done. So that's it for today. I hope you guys enjoyed, and until next time, take care, guys.